Welcome back to Beginner's Guide. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn about the data types in JavaScript. What are data types? Data types are different kinds of data that can be stored or used in the JavaScript program. In JavaScript or in any other programming language, the concept of data type is important. Even in JavaScript, there are different types of data that can be used. They are categorized into two types. First one is a primitive data type. The next type is a non-primitive data type. Primitive data types, we have got numbers, string, boolean, now and undefined. These are all the data types. We call them as a primitive data types. In the other hand, we have got non-primitive data types, a reference data type. There we have got functions, we have got objects, we have got arrays. This is what we are going to be discussing in this tutorial. Let us start with a primitive data type. The first one is a string. What is string? We know already. A string is a collection of character, isn't it so? String can be written with either single or double quotes. In sometimes we can use even the combination of single quotes and double quotes. Let me give you this example. I'm going to create a variable. Let's say let name equals J John. As I said, string is a sequence of character, right? So this is a sequence of character. This is how we used to declare the string data type. Can be represented using single quote or double quote. Here I have used double quote. In case even if you use single quote, it's still okay. So let me copy and paste. Here I can say name 1. I can still call this one as a John, but within the single quotes. This is not only the way, we can use the combination of both single quotes and double quotes. So how can we use that one? So let me create another data type. You can say, let me do this. Var, I can create the variable as sentence equals. Here I'm going to use the combination of both single quotes and double quotes. Let me start with the double quotes. I can say her name is, within the single quote I can say the name. Okay, let me say the name is Rachel. So this one is also still correct because here I have used the combination of both single quotes and double quotes. So this is how we can create the string data type in JavaScript. If you want to see the result, you can console log it. There is a different ways, but let me say I want to console log the sentence. When I save, you see her name is Rachel. So if you want to console log the name 1, when I save, you can see John here. When I console log name, is going to give you the John. So this is how you can use string as a data type. The second data type is a number data type. In other programming languages, I'm sure that you have already come across with the programming languages like Java, C, C++. If you want to create a number data type, there are 3 types of data that we usually use. If you want to declare the integer, we use int as a keyword. If you want to declare the float, we use float as a keyword. If you want to declare the double, you can use double as a keyword. But here in JavaScript, we're just going to use the keywords, like it can be either let, var or const, together with the name of the data type. When I say number 1 is an integer, when I say here name 1 is 1.5, still I can store the data. So this is a way that we can store number data type in JavaScript, right? So we have seen about the string. Second one is a number. So it can be any number. It can be any number. It can be a whole number, or it can be a number with a decimal value. It can be a double value. Everything we are just going to be store them in a one data type name called number. What if I want to have a combination of both strings and number? Let's say here the name is going to be Ranjan. So this is a string data type, right? So here let name 1 is equals to 1.5. This is a number data type. So this one I said number data type. This one is a string data type. If I want to combine both string and the number, the result would be a string. For example, here what I'm going to do, variable result, I'm going to create another variable. Let's say var result equals this name. I want to concatenate with this name 1. So if I want to print this result here, the result would be a string, as I said. So if you concatenate the string with the number or number with the string, the result would be always string. No wonder Ranjan is a string. Even this number would be considered as a string. No wonder that it's like a string concatenation, Ranjan and 1.5. But if you put 3 here, 3 plus 1.5, we are going to get 4.5 as a result here. If you add 2 numbers, the result would be a number. If you add a string with a number, the result would be always a string. Let's say here is name 3, here is 1.5, again I'm going to have, let's say, let name2 equals Ranjan, right? So I have got two numbers data type. This one is a number as well, this is a number, this is a number, this one is a string. So if I want to print the result here, let's say, then let me add this one as a name2, you will see the result now in the console, 4.5 Ranjan. Why? Because first we have name and name1. Name and name1, they are integer data type. So we are trying to add 3 plus 1.5 is a 4.5. We are concatenating that 4.5 with a string. I hope it's clear, right? Now let me put this one in other way around. Let me cut this one, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one on top. Okay, let me exchange this. So number 2, I want to come here, bring the number 2. This one is going to be name 3, and this one is so we have the first one is a name 2, second one is a name 3, third one is a name 1 actually, right? So when I add this one, so is it okay, name 2 plus, so it's not the name 3, just the name. So when I add this one, you will see the result is different, because first one is a string. When you add a number with a string, it's always going to be a string. So Ranjan plus 3, Ranjan 3, right? Ranjan 3 is a first string. Now the result would be a string. When you add this one with this one, the result would be a string. What is a string? Ranjan 3. Then still Ranjan 3 is a string. When you want to add another number next to that string, is still going to be a string. No wonder that Ranjan 3 1.5. I hope you have understood the difference. When you add any number with a string, the result would be always a string. That is the reason why we are getting this result. This one is different from the one that we have seen, because first one we have tried to add two numbers. So we have added 2 plus 1.5, 3.5. Then we are trying to concatenate with a string name called Ranjan. So you found that 3.5 Ranjan as a result. Here Ranjan is a string. We are going to add the number to the Ranjan. So when you add any number with string, the result would be always string. Again, this result would be a string. Ranjan 3 is a string now. Again, we are going to add a number. So it's going to produce another string. So Ranjan 3 again 1.5. So no wonder that we are getting Ranjan 3 1.5. This result is a string now. I hope you have understood now how to add string with a number. So we have seen about two different data types under the primitive. One is a number, another one is a string. The third one is a Boolean. The Boolean data type is a logical data type that can only have true or false as a value. So let me just remove all these things. We know Boolean data type, even in other programming, it determines whether the condition is true or false. Let me create a variable as with a keyword var. I can say is coding fun. Then I can set that one true. So if you print this is coding is fun here, is going to return true, because a Boolean data type can have true or false. Maybe I can have maybe another condition saying var, I can say is math fun. People would say no, false. Math is not fun for everybody, right? So here in this case, if I change this name of the variable is math fun, it's going to return false. So Boolean is another data type under the primitive data type, which can always return either true or false as a condition. Then the next one is the undefined. We know number, we know strings, we know Boolean. Now the next one is undefined. What does that mean, undefined? Let me give you this example. If a variable has no assigned value, then that variable is a undefined. Here var is coding fun is the variable declaration, right? This is the declaration of the variable. Now I have not assigned any value for this variable. So let me print this variable is coding fun. So it's going to be undefined. Undefined is nothing but we declare variable without the value is called undefined. This is another type of data in JavaScript. The next one is null. What is null? The null data type is a special data type denoting a null value, meaning it's not an empty string or zero. When you say null, it's not like it's an empty string or a zero. It's just like now. For example, when fun equals now, just like this is another type of data in JavaScript. So these are all the basic primitive data in JavaScript. So now we are going to discuss about the non-primitive data types in JavaScript. So these data types place the white or row in JavaScript, because a lot of the things is being developed and implemented using these non-primitive data types. The first one is object. What is object? Object is a collection of related data items. In JavaScript, if you want to use the object data types, we use key value pairs, and each pair is separated by a comma. Objects are written inside the curly braces. So let me give you this simple example to understand what I'm going to say. We are going to create an object data type. If you want to create an object data type, let me say var, the name of the variable I can say, let me say banana as the name of the variable. So the first true, if you want to create an object, you have to write the object within the curly braces. So equals, I'm going to write within the curly braces. The second one is going to have the key value pairs. What does that mean, key value pairs? Let me say color is the key, colon, value for the color. What is the color of the banana? Yellow. So this is a key value. So objects can be created with the related data. So banana in this case is the name of the variable. So we have to use the pair of curly braces. Inside we are going to have key value pair. Key is the color and the value is yellow. Then if you want to have more than one properties for this variable name called banana, that one can be separated with comma. Then if you want to have another property, let's say the size of the banana, let me say long. The next property, I want to have quantity. Let's say quantity is 3. And then I'm going to, is banana is sweet? So I'm going to have is sweet. Let me say I'm going to say true. So in object, we can store more than one type of data. You can see this is a string data, this is an integer, this is a boolean. You can store different types of data in object, but you have to separate it with a comma, and then the object is always going to have a key value pairs. What if I want to print the value? It's simple, like you can console log them. So here let's say I want to print the color of the banana. So what is the variable name? Banana. If you save this one, is going to return the object. As you can see them here, this banana is an object. No wonder that it is there in the curly braces. So when you expand this one, it's going to give you all those properties. What if I want to print the specific one? Let's say I want to print the color. So in that case, we are going to use dot operator. Then I'm going to say color. So it is just going to print the color of that banana object. If I want to print is sweet, so here instead of color, I'm going to say is sweet as a function. So that is going to return true, right? So this is how object can be declared in JavaScript, right? Then the next data type is an array. A JavaScript array is a collection of values. Each value is separated with a comma, and then specially this one is written with the square brackets, whereas the object we have written them with a pair of curly braces. When it comes to an array, we are going to write them with the pair of square brackets. So replace these curly braces with a square bracket, the first one. Then what is the next one? We are not going to have a key value pairs. So instead we are just going to have the values. Let's say I'm going to have the values as, so let me even remove this. So instead of banana, let me name them as fruits. Okay, here I'm going to have the fruits. The first one is apple, apples, second one is comma. As I said, it needs to be separated with a comma. Then orange, and then I can say banana. You have noticed I have used both single quotes and double quotes as a combination, in case if you want to know. So in case if I want to print, if I want to know the data types, what I'm going to do here, if I print fruits, is going to give me the square bracket. When you see something here in the square bracket, meaning it's an array. If I want to print the first item in the array, what I'm going to do, in the square bracket I'm going to pass 0. If I pass 0, the 0th index value will be printed. If I print 3, the third index value will be printed. Here, this is a 0th index, first index, second index. There is no value for the third index. No wonder that it is printing as undefined. What is undefined? A variable can be declared without the value is called undefined. I hope now you have understood the different types of data in JavaScript. There is a special data type in JavaScript that is called type of. So when you use that data type called type of, it will tell you the type of data that we have in our program. Let's say here I'm going to have fruits. Let's say it's an apples. Then I'm going to say var number is equals to 5. And I'm going to say var name, maybe I say is sweet equals to true. Okay, now you can see we have got different types of data. This is a string, this is a number data type, this is a Boolean data type. Let's say var, this is undefined data type. If you want to know the type of data that this variable belongs to, there is a method in JavaScript. That one is type of. For example, if you use type of as a keyword, then pass the name of the variable. Let's say the first one is fruits. So this fruits is a string data type, right? So you wonder that it is returning string. So if you pass hey, this hey is undefined because we have not assigned the value for this variable hey. It is returning undefined. I hope now you have understood the different types of data in JavaScript. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. See you in the next tutorial.